Hello, my name is Emma Rich, and today I will be presenting in front of my mom, my dad, and my brother. So, the culture I chose is the Amish community. Um, Starting off with it, I will be talking about the Amish community's background and history, what makes the Amish recognizable, the attitudes, beliefs, and values that they have, common misconceptions about them, along with a couple wow moments that I had. Now I will inform you with some background and history related to the Amish community. So the Amish generally live a simplistic life. The Amish have different views and sets of rules into place pertaining to the ways they dress, their family, and etc. They are very family-oriented people. People who are Amish usually practice Christian beliefs. And the Amish came about in the late 1600s. There's a man named Jacob Armman who started this group. And later in the around 1730 year, the first large group arrived in America. They, quote, settled near Lancaster County, Pennsylvania, as a result of William Penn's experiment in religious tolerance, end quote. The Amish lives in roughly 24 states, Canada, and Central America. However, 80% of the Amish live in Pennsylvania, Ohio, and Indiana. The largest group of Amish have settled in Holmes County, Ohio. And after giving you guys some information on the background of this culture, I will now inform you of the certain signifiers, that makes the members of this culture recognizable. So a huge thing that may stand out about the Amish is the way they dress. The Amish is a lot different than your, typical American outfit. Their outfits are very minimalistic and are usually homemade sewn pieces. Their pieces they make are usually dark in color, and the reasoning of their choice of outfit is because it's quote, symbolic of their faith. Amish clothing styles encourage humility and separation from the world, end quote. And that is from What the One. Amish men generally wear straight-cut suits and coats. These items do not have collars, lapels, or pockets. When wearing trousers, they are never allowed to have creases or cuffs, and they have to be worn by wearing suspenders. There are clothing pieces that are off limits to Amish men. Some of these include belts, sweaters, neckties, and gloves. And Amish men are required to fasten their shirts. Alongside of the Amish men, the women also have strict rules regarding their clothing options. Amish women tend to wear long dresses that are solid in color. Their dresses have, quote, long sleeves and a full skirt covered with a cape and an apron. They never cut their hair, and they wear it in a braid or a bun on the back of their head, concealed with a small white cap or black bonnet. End quote, and that's from What the One as well. Amish women clothing is fastened with pins or snaps. Their shoes are black in color. There are things that are not permitted for Amish women to wear as well, just like the men, and these include not being able to wear patterned clothing or jewelry. Both Amish men and women can easily be recognizable by the clothing they are wearing. The way the Amish physically looks is very unique to their culture. And now that I've informed you on what makes them recognizable, I will now go into the attitudes, beliefs, and values of the Amish community. So the Amish community share many beliefs such as language, believe in celebrating holidays, and also the way that they grew up. So the Amish consist of 3 different languages. These include a German dialect that they call Pennsylvania Dutch. They use this mainly at home. And then for worship, they use a High German. And then just with outsiders in the public, they use English. The Amish believe in celebrating holy days. They celebrate the same holy days that most Christians follow. When growing up Amish, a lot can be expected of you at a very young age. After each Amish teen turned 16, they, quote, can experience life outside the community for a few years to decide whether they wish to become fully baptized members of the community, 90% to do so, end quote, Religions 1. You do not see many Amish teens leaving the community, though. However, many do, like they said, 90% do stay with them. The Amish also have values such as education and family marriages. Amish schooling is a lot different than public schooling due to, quote, Amish children are educated in their own schools. Schooling stops at 14, after which they learn practical skills on the job, end quote, Religions 1. The Amish can only marry another Amish, and they're not allowed to divorce. Many Amish families are very big due to they have about 7 to 8 children in each home. Having a lot of children is very common for the Amish. And now that I have informed you on some of the Amish attitudes, beliefs, and values, I will now inform you on very common misconceptions that people in the Amish community face. Living in America, being Amish isn't the easiest thing to do. The Amish is ridiculed for numerous things. There are a lot of misconceptions that they do face, and a big stereotype that Amish is that they don't pay taxes. The, quote, Amish do in fact pay all income, sales, property, and other local taxes. Amish are, however, exempt from Social Security, but do not collect from the program either. Amish object to Social Security was an insurance system, and because Amish society takes care of aged and infirm, and thus have no need for government support, end quote, what are one? Another misconception that is talked about quite often for the Amish is that the men marry their sisters and that they also have 2 wives. So I myself have heard of this common myth before, that they can marry their sisters, but generally the Amish is a secluded community, so many may say that they're overly close to their relatives. However, very few outsiders join the community. Some Amish do in fact marry their relatives. This includes marrying a distant relative or even possibly a second cousin. In the Amish community, it is rare for someone to marry a first cousin, let alone a sibling. They are married to one wife and generally are not supposed to divorce their partner, and they've never been condoned to having more than one wife. It is important to understand whether or not it is a myth, whether or not a myth is true. Talking about false myths can really hurt the community and make others have the wrong impressions. So throughout my research, I have found some wow moments. My first wow moment is that Amish men are clean-shaven prior to getting married. When getting married, being an Amish man, you then are required to let your beard grow out, and you cannot shave it once you are married. I thought this was such a wow moment because I never realized that you could tell the difference of a married man versus a single man by just looking at their facial hair. However, in the Amish community, it is forbidden to have a mustache. Another wow moment I had while researching the Amish was that many Amish still use a horse and buggy as their transportation. It is surprising to see this in modern day because I feel as if that is something you only see in textbooks. My last wow moment is about Amish music. While researching, I've learned that, quote, the Amish are not permitted to play instruments or listen to music unless it comes from their song book called Assbound. In the book, which is the oldest songbook, still in continuous use, there are no musical notes. Instead, the tunes of the songs are passed down through generations, end quote, Grimmick. I found this as such a wow moment because music plays such a ginormous role in many other cultures. It would be very hard for me not to sing or play with instruments while being Amish. I believe it is a creative way to be unique and to help you mentally relax from the world. Now that I've informed you on my wow moments, I will now conclude my research. So in conclusion, I have expanded my knowledge on the Amish community. I have learned their background and history, what makes the Amish recognizable, the attitudes, beliefs, and values, common misconceptions about them, along with some wow moments throughout my research. I hope you guys learned some things about the Amish that you have never heard, and hopefully you will look at them differently and maybe not judge them as much as some people do, because they do have a lot of stereotypes and misconceptions about them. So I hope you guys learned something, and thank you for listening. Bye.